Oh, come on. Thank you, darling. Nice, Cindy. Nice. Awesome. I'll check out your time lapse later. thought maybe you captured it, darling. Forgive me on the replay. I'm talking to someone in the chat. All right, howdy folks, welcome back. I told you I would be back. It's someone I saw and help them share. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, if you want, you can drop it in the chat there. You got the power to do that, Cindy. If you want to drop that link in there, you can. I don't mind. We try to share it this channel. All right. So let's get into this. I got a lot to cover tonight, and we're going to get into, well, an intervention is needed. So we're going to help you guys with an intervention. It'll be a fun one. You'll like it. It's not like, oh my God, no, not an intervention. It'll be a nice one. And you'll be empowered by the end of it too. So that's the best part, is the power that you will have now. Okay. And the peace that you'll have too. Okay. And you guys will get a kick out of it when we start doing it here. So anyways, let's get on to the solar report right here. You can see that there's like an object either here or it comes out. And then we have the secondary wave comes flashing over. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on in that one, but there's slow, long duration one there, a little bit going on in the background up here. While this thing's spitting and sputtering, little objects right there. Not much really to go frame by frame here and capture. I mean, you guys can kind of see it all. What I can really just do is slow this down a little bit and let it tick off one frame at a time, really slow like that. Sorry about my hokey setup, but someday I'll have a studio and real professional equipment in my lab, and we can just go to town. All right, you can see these little ones sneaking through there too, okay? Not just these main events. There's other ones that sometimes these events distract from other ones going on the side. But as you can see, our spires right here, our little spikes are like our compass needles pointing at, inbound object right there. Now, did you see how that wave splashed over the object at the very end right here? Yeah, watch this, right? This next event coming right out of the bottom. I think it's this one. We're moving kind of slow. So there's that one. And then this splashes over that object right there. All right, so there's your... yeah, you can kind of see that one move out. A secondary one. All kinds of activity kind of going on in there. All right. Okay, we got a lot to cover and not enough time, so I got to get moving. We're kind of shortcutting some of these instrumentation readings to get to the spiritual report because I got a lot to cover tonight. And let's just keep moving. The more I talk, the longer it takes. We're wasting time. All right, let's get to this. Oh, Lord, please. I didn't want that one. I want this one. Okay, bear with me for a second there. You saw the solar indices as we were sliding over there. They're both still pretty high. All right, here's your box for today. You can see we've had a couple of little M flares, very like spontaneous ones. Okay, very quick. And those were the ones we just saw. That is your activity for today. And then going into tomorrow, it's not too much really to look at. I don't want to stall and delay. So we can report on some of this activity tomorrow. All right, save that for tomorrow's report. It's not much right now, but for the moment, I need to get to the spiritual report here and get this out of the way first. All right, so here we are with our lifted indices. Okay, we still have multiple sunspots on this side of the sun. This is the active side of the sun. Um, our solar indices are still pretty lifted there. Okay, here in our magnetic forecast here, they're calling for nice and green for the next couple of days here. That might change. Okay, I have a feeling there's a couple of little surprises that might come along and catch people off guard. We'll see. Anyways, M flare potential 75%, X flare 20. That's okay. I agree with that. Here's your two M flares, 2.2 and a 3.4. Now, look how many sunspots we've got now. And we've got our three big red regions. Last time we had these three regions, okay, or similar to this, we had three regions. One was beta gamma. All right, this one's beta delta, and this one's beta gamma. One of these is going to go beta gamma delta probably, and hopefully not, won't spit it out right in our direction. All right, so that potential for X flares is 20% for a reason, because there's three potential spots right there for that activity. Any one of these could go beta gamma delta, and that's what starts kicking out X flares. So just open up our KP real quick. This is our absorption that we've taken in. Not too bad. The highest point was KP4, but we built up to a KP4 and kind of plateauing and, slowly coming down. So even these two little bars right here, this is all energy that gets absorbed at the poles here, okay? The poles direct it down to the core. The core absorbs this energy in the form of like heat. It heats it up, and so there's your little bit of juice for the core, for our energy coming in. Now, we had seen that the spike the other day, and I was kind of waiting for another blast the core to react. And let's come on over. Wait. We'll get over to that here in a minute. Is this the 21st one? Okay, yeah, let me read this one off to you real quick. The visible solar disk is full of sunspot regions today, with the addition of the newly assigned AR35, or we'll just go last numbers, 52, 53, 54, and 55, and 56 on Sunday. Those are all newly assigned. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new sunspots on Sunday. All right. So remember last time we had the uptick in the number of sunspots, the count in the rash area or whatever. We saw an uptick in the count. Well, here was 5 more added on Sunday. All right. There's currently at least 16 active regions present. Solar activity during the past 24 hours was at moderate levels with numerous minor C flares and a couple of lower M flares detected. All this activity was observed around the cluster of active regions, including 37, 38, 45, 47, and all other regions have been, for the most part, stable. M-class solar flares will remain likely during the next 24 hours, with a lower chance for an isolated X-class event, all right? Wait. We got a better instrument that'll show us a little bit better, but here's our bigger patch. Our rash it's no longer center disk. It's starting to rotate around. Now, over here is still dangerous because this is our magnetic connection, okay? So it's not out of the strike zone yet. It's still in that area. And last time we had, these two touch off an X flare. So, there's no telling what could happen. Anyways, we have this region has got a bunch more little sunspots added to it. We'll find a better image here in a minute. Let's get on over here. You can see our auroras real quick. Just they're stable. They're not faint, but they're stable. They're not too strong, but I would just say they're mild right now. Okay, let's get out. Open up this tracker. Yeah, see, they're still not showing any CME activity coming our way, which is fine. I hope that's the case, because we don't need any more energy being absorbed. All right, so that's good news. I'll take that. even though we have the higher KP, or not KP index. Well, yeah, we have a little bit higher elevated KP here. That's energy that's just the solar wind. So we're taking on energy just from the, just from the sun without a CME. So back to where I was. Where was I? Yeah, we already looked at this complex magnetic field before. All right, this very complex. Well, they call it a complex of sunspots. So that was back when it was over on this side of the sun, and now it's added a few more to it as it's rotating into our magnetic field line strike zone. Oh, that's why I wanted to open up the tracker. Just real quick, you guys already know this stuff, but here's Earth. Our magnetic field line is in an arc. It doesn't go straight towards the sun. So we're actually magnetically attached to that region of the sun. We're not magnetically attached straight on. Seems weird, but because of the solar wind and the sun rotating, the sun rotates. That's why our magnetic field line is arced. All right. So here we go. We're attached to this region of the sun, and that's where our complex is, now approaching. So hopefully it stays nice and calm during that time, because anything that comes out of this region right now could still be connected to us. All right, now let's get out of here and come on over to this spaceweather.com, please. All right, the meteor alert, the first significant meteor shower in months is about to begin. The annual Lyrid meteor shower peaks on the night of April 21st, 22nd. Well, that would be right now. So, Earth passes through the stream of debris from Comet Thatcher, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the sunspot that can't shoot straight. Be careful how you tempt the Lord, okay? Because we don't want sunspots that shoot straight at us. Just be thankful it came off the side over here. All right. Anyways, different perspectives, and let's just read the article. The sunspot can't shoot straight. Over the weekend, giant sunspot complex AR 36, 38, and 47 hurled at least 6 CMEs into space, all of them heading just south of Earth. Dang thing can't shoot straight. They're all south of Earth. Thankfully, south of Earth. All right, NASA models forecast near miss after near miss. Whew. Whew. Near miss after near miss. Finally, however, an explosion occurred that may be Earth directed. Say what? An explosion occurred that may be Earth directed. Did you guys catch that part? See that little guy right there blasting out of that region right there where we're connected? Even though it can't shoot straight, we're still connected at it, and it's still within the line of sight of light. Okay, we will get a blast of this. We will catch some kind of edge of it if we're seeing it. Okay, so this M34 solar flare from 3638 during the late hours of 21st may have produced a partial halo CME with an Earth-directed component. Here's the Devil Comet at perihelion. It's a little tiny dot in this little tiny frame, but it's now so close to the sun that it's about to make perihelion, so you can't see it too well. A little article about that, but what I wanted to do here was, the meteor shower. So, the annual meteor shower peaks on the night of April 21st, 22nd. Well, that is this time frame right now. So let's take you on over to the meteors live stream. And please, without an ad, I had this pulled up for a reason. All right, dang it. Anyways, let me pop this thing out of here. Here's our instrument currently going. I had one picked out that was a nice big one today. Just for this moment, you can, once it kind of loads up, you can get these little pop-ups here and find your activity during the day. There's one right there. Let it refresh real quick, please, Lord. Just why is this taking? Okay, let's see if we can get the whole thing now. Um, Oops. I'm just kind of backing it up manually like this because it takes a second here. All right. Just a little example of some of our meteors now, and we're having a little uptick. This red line down below here, and that's not the one I had picked out. The one I had picked out was even bigger than this one, okay? So there were several events here today. Where was the one I had picked out for you guys? Ooh, is that it right there? There's a good one. And just real quick, we are having our little uptick of meteors now. And if you want to track them, come over to this little stream right here, this instrument. And you don't have to sit and watch it all day, but you can go like I was doing with the play line, scrolling through and finding your event, click on it, check it out. All right, so there's your meteor activity, a little uptick in your meteor activity. And if you want to follow along with it, you can come over here. Uh, Sometimes some incredible events happen on this thing that get you can screen capture. Oh, excuse me, Lord, help me. Sometimes you can capture one of these events and screen capture it or whatever, post it on your channel, or at least capture it, send it to me or something if you do, okay? And that's right there, a typical um, meteor entering the atmosphere, okay? That's what it should look like. That's your normal activity, okay? So I could show you something later about these weird events that look nothing like this, okay? All right, so there's your activity right now going on your meteor thing. And then what was the other one there I had? All right, anyways, let's get on over here to the Schumann. Kind of lagging tonight. All right, as you can see, we had that little bit of absorption and it reached the core, made it grind for a second. We must have had a release. Remember how I said there's a new hole in the balloon, so any kind of pressure from the inside is releasing pretty quick, don't you think? I think that it the grinding and then stopped pretty quick. So maybe this new little hole in the crust, or this whole configuration of perforations in the crust that we have now, is enough to let some volume escape, and these grinding sessions aren't so intense or last as long. So, but you can see we had one, came out of it, got a little weak there, a little pop there, a little pop there, and then another. It's almost like the pumping of the brakes. If you had a car that you neglected the brakes on and you stepped on the brakes and you hear grinding, it's metal on metal. Well, that's the same thing. All right. It's a very similar effect. So when you understand that, I'm going to refer to these as the stabbing of the brakes, because I want you to hear in your head that metal on metal sound, that. And that's what this is, okay? It's the grinding of the core and its shell. And we have it's also an indicator of pressure. So we have some pressure built up, enough to cause some grinding. It releases. We get a little build up, starts to grind a little harder, grind on even harder, and then releases, okay? So the last events were a lot more intense and a lot longer. And then we had the big volcano eruption. So I believe we have enough more vintage now. Let's just say vintage, where this pressure is being vented out a little faster, and these events are a little shorter. And it took a little longer for it to build up too. I was expecting it a lot sooner. So we're kind of like back to almost 12 hours or so, like that. We'll see. All right, anyway, there's that. There was something else over here I wanted to point out. Decimal near miss after near miss. Um. Oh, what was it? There was something else in here. Help me, Lord. Oh well, we got to move on. So there's your Schumann for right now. Sorry, I've been go today and still trying to maintain. Or sometimes I got to downshift into a different gear just to kind of slow down to get back into orientation. All right, so here we are over at the SO2. You can see country divided, bleeding out on one half, clearing out on the other. Here we go. And then let's come on over to China here. I'm back up about 8 hours. There we go. And you can see there's a lot of pressure then. It subsides. So 16 hours ago, now 8 hours ago, then it subsides again. But right here, you can see we've had that buildup of pressure. And when you look at our side, it's very faint because the sun's over here. It's also kind of tugging on that magma down below, pulling it up to the underside of the crust, squeezing this gas out. So there's the pressure. Get that out of there. Okay. Also down here at Java, you can see it's one of our main relief valves. The volcano that went off is just right here. So it's in this region, kind of, okay? This is our relief valve. We're also seeing a lot of CO2 or SO2, sorry, coming out of there. So the pressure, we have pressure. And then here you can see ours is a little lighter because it was during our nighttime. All right, so where do we go here? Oh, the water. Oh, there we go. Okay, still big hot spot region right there. This one's still kind of out here. It kind of diminished a little bit. Yesterday it was a lot bigger. So maybe we've seen a little reduction in pressure. But as you can see, all that region right there, there's a lot of heat under the ocean floor. There's either vents going off there that are heating the water, or the ocean floor is super hot and it's heating the water in this region. So, because this is a little out of season, we're not in summertime yet. If I take you over really quick to your normal water temperature bands for this time of year, you can see that here's hot water. This purple, that's where warm water is in this equatorial region, okay? There's no hot water up here. This is cold. Blue and green is cold water. So when we switch over to our anomalies, yeah, that is an anomaly. That's something different than what's supposed to be going on there. And same with out here. And that's where Tamumasi is, the biggest volcano on the earth. We still have these other regions up here. This is getting all weird and breaking up the Gulf Stream here. That'll affect the weather for England and everything. So, where am I going next, Lord? Help me. Why am I so... Oh, it's been a brutal day, so bear with me. Okay, now before we do this, see how this thing's that shape again? It's still this same day, the 15th. See? It's set up for the 15th. All right, you know what? For a second, let's look at this. Two eyes, a nose, almost looks like a frog. and there were 2 sandstorms at the same time. And this was the 15th. I'm just kind of re-going over it because they got it stuck on this. And when I see God do that, he's like, here, you need to look at this closer. And I see why, because there's a couple of eyes right there staring at you. All right. Now I see why. Moving on, I need the right date, which is today, the 20th. Actually, we have to go 21st, because there we go. Strange how it keeps going to the 15th on that one. Not on any other model, but on that one it does. Probably because of what we just saw there. I'll let you be the judge of that. Anyways, let's move on. We have a huge sandstorm still kicking up sand all across the Mediterranean, northern Africa, the middle part of Africa right here, blowing sand all the way across the Atlantic, depositing it here on South America. There's another huge sandstorm here in South America, or Saudi Arabia, up here by the Caspian Sea, and then one here by the Gobi Desert. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, look at this one. It's kind of separate from this one. So if you wanted to, you could say 4 or 5, or just one big 4, 5. Or it's a 1, 2. Anyhow, however you want to look at it, there's a lot of sand getting kicked up, and this isn't summertime yet. What's going to happen in the summertime? Is this all just going to be one big white stripe going across the planet right there? Because it almost is. I mean, here, let's kind of look at it from the top down. Whoops. Okay, don't get them all dizzy, Brian, but look at that. It's just already kind of one big white stripe on the planet. From a different dimension, step back, there's another dimension back, another dimension back. Get closer and closer. All right, those are kind of different dimensions, or different. All right, let me just continue on here. Lord help me, I am all over the place tonight. What is going on? All right, going back to the air. We don't need all that stuff. We're done here. Wow. All right, bear with me. We're getting there. Okay, dial into this one. There's a mid-range 4 right there down at 513. So there's our deep quake right there. We have a 5.1 down at 57, almost at the surface. It's a little deeper, but there's your residual 5 at the surface. 4.6 there. Finally, some activity in this zone. We haven't seen a quake in this zone right here in a minute. So there's your mid-range 4. Nothing through there. Coming over to this little pit area. 4.6 over here at Tal, Indonesia. Then coming up here, this is a 4.8. Now, what I want to point out here. Nice and easy. Okay, these 2 quakes, our volcano went off right here. Right where my little arrow is, right in between these 2 quakes. It's like the halfway point almost. Now in this little pit area, we have a mid-range 4, but it's down at 550. Okay, so that's a deep quake. That's showing energy down deep. Okay, that pressure that we took on from the sun, that you saw grinding on the Schumann, is now traveling back up. The pressure's coming up now and causing earthquakes. And you can see this is a good indicator right here, this little pit area of deep quakes, and that's a good one down at 550. So now what I found at this region is we have a deep quake over by Fiji. It results in a 5 at the surface, right? We've seen that many times. Here, this deep quake region doesn't necessarily produce a big quake at the surface. It is a good indicator, though, of energy down deep. So there we go. Nothing here at this fulcrum point, but look up here at Taiwan. Again, another indicator of our pressure at a weak spot. It looks for the path of least resistance, and this is a weak spot. 4.7 down at 32. 4.3 down at 24. 4.6 down at 26. All right. Help me, Lord, please. All right. I'm in a lot of pain, so I'm probably glitching out the computer here. Oh, never mind. Those are too small. Let's come on over to the Juan de Fuca and see what's going on off the shore of California, Oregon here. It's 2.9 at the surface. That's just energy releasing at the surface. Nothing to worry about there. 3.3 here at the geysers. That's probably the biggest quake of the flurry today. Let's get over to that. Yeah. So we've had quite a little flurry in this region today. And we got 3 that are, recent, that are in red, that are lit up. Yeah, all mainly just mid-range 2s, the biggest one being that 3 that we saw right there. But again, a weak spot that's helping vent energy. That's like one of the pinholes in the balloon, where we get constant energy release, constant pressure release, I should say. All right, let me take off that feature. Oh, before I do that, I want to come over here. For people out on the East Coast, we had your quake here at New Jersey. That's an indicator that that little weak spot is still active. When we get pressure built up, it kind of goes active, all right? That's a new little pinhole in the balloon. Up here by Lake Erie, we have 2.3 here in Walbridge, Ohio. This is 2.4 here on the New Madrid here in New Jersey. We have activity over here in Georgia as well, 2.1. This is probably all. Yeah, we all know what that's going on. This little region over here. No, I'll get into that later. We don't have time tonight. But look at this down here now. Close that out. Here in the Gulf of California here. All right, 5.4. That's our biggest quake right there. Is 5.4 at the surface, with a 4.6 at the surface, and also another 4.5. So 2 mid-range 4s and a 5 right there at the surface, and that's here at the Cocos Plate. Oh boy. There's pressure in this area. Hopefully this relieve most of that pressure and it doesn't kind of travel up and we see stuff in California. But for the moment, it looks to be, you see how these kind of, stop right there. These 2 plate boundaries kind of zigzag and almost touch each other right here. That's a little weak spot, and that's why we're seeing our energy release at that very weak spot right there. Further down on the Cocos as well as a 4.9, and you know what we do with those here, so round that up to about a 5, and a 4.1. So some activity around the Cocos Plate today. Let's get over here. 4.6. Finally, some activity in South America. 4.4 and 4.4. Okay. About wraps up that. Oh, real quick, let's see what happened over here. Is this, I think it is, yes, a 4.0 in Bandar Abbas, Iran. Bandar Abbas? No, you're not a badass. There's someone else who's even better. All right. That's all good. Let's move on to our volcano report now. All right. Thanks for bearing with me here tonight. Exhaustion and sometimes it's a battle. All right. Where are we here? All right. Please, Lord, can we scroll? Thank you. All right. I'm not going to list off those. Here we are with Bartabunga. a new one on the list. Okay, so add another one onto the active list. A new seismic activity occurred beneath a volcano recently. A volcano tectonic earthquake with a magnitude of 5.4 was registered yesterday morning at Bardabunga in Iceland. Okay, so we're going to have 2 volcanoes on Iceland going off now. Bongana, that's another one added to the list. Explosive activity continues over there with a plume to 7,000 feet at Bongana. Luatobi had another one today, 7,000 feet. Semeru, 14,000. Okay, yesterday was 17. It broke a new record, I think. Yeah, 17. So Semeru, 14,000. Dukono, 9,000 feet there today. What's wrong? Oh, the volcano, wrong. Can we please scroll? Raum, however you want to pronounce it. I thought it was kind of cool pronouncing it wrong. Get it? Pronouncing it wrong? Never mind. It's still active. Santa Guido, no VA. Fuego, no VA. These ones probably okay, no emissions then today. Good. For those at least. Here we go though. Sabancaya, 25,000 feet. And that was just into the 22nd. We haven't even touched what happened today on the 21st. Let's get into that. Here's Reykjanes. All right, they're talking about this magma chamber under here, lifting up underneath the other volcano, starting a second volcano. Hi, pigeons. Bye. Luatolo, 6,000 feet. Semeru, 14,000. Merapi. Reported an eruption to an unknown height. Okay. Dukono, 9,000. Wrong, 7,000. Yesterday, the Landsat 8-9 satellites captured the first almost cloud-free satellite image of the volcano, portraying the aftermath of a strong eruptive episode. The origin green. Oh, we have a picture of it? Oh, why do we have to do all that stuff? I wanted an image of that. I wanted to learn more. Oh, well. Denied. Now we'll learn more. Well, although the explosive eruption at the volcano continues, it's essentially considerably diminished levels. 3 explosions have been detected through the surveillance camera over the past 2 days, and the ash-rich columns rose to an altitude ranging 1,125. Okay, I thought they were going to give us a nice picture. All right, I guess it was a mental image. Mild explosive at Santa Guido, Fuego, sporadic emissions, Nevada del Ruiz, our semi-active volcano, had a semi-active blast to 22,000 feet. Sounds pretty active to me. Sabancaya, 24. So a couple of big blasts, 22, 24. The rest of these pretty decent today. So over here, there should be a couple of new ones added, but I doubt if they did. Here's Bongana. Remember, we just saw Bongana. It should go over there. All our regular players here. I want to see. There it is. Nevada del Ruiz. 22,000 feet. Whoa. Hey, that was nice. Now we don't have to look at the ad. So, Nevada del Ruiz, we were just telling you, 22,000 foot blast. Get it out of here. I'm going to take my mouse and click on this and move it and cut and paste and put it over there for him. Yep, still most of our regular players over here. Wrong. Sorry, got it wrong. It's there. It's wrong over here too, so they got it on both sides. See? East Java, same one. All right. I guess that's it. Now let's get on the forecast before I lose half my audience and they fall asleep. Because I'd go on so late at night. It's because I have so much going on during the day. This is my first break, really. Please, Lord, I guess we're waiting for it to load up here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit this loop and let it kind of roll up. As you can see, we got a little bit of clearing there. This isn't showing what I saw. Some other reports coming. Well, maybe it's going to update now. So, oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, that's the event I was going to talk about. All right, so while that's loading up real quick, thank you all for being so patient and hanging in there. Hopefully you learn stuff as we go here. And then you see these effects as I report on them, then you guys see them happen in the news the next day or something. And, some of these are catastrophic events. We're trying to warn people ahead of time to save lives. So this part's kind of important, even though you got to get through it here. So, all right, this is the nighttime of the 21st. Current conditions: morning of the 22nd, noon, convection, nighttime, 23, noon, convection, nighttime, 24, noon, convection, nighttime, 25, noon, convection, nighttime, 26, noon, convection, nighttime, right here, nighttime 26, morning of the 27th, noon, convection, nighttime, this thing right here. Nighttime of the 27th starts kicking off around Oklahoma or Nebraska, Oklahoma, there, Kansas, Oklahoma. Morning of the 28th, noon, convection, nighttime. Right there, that could get dangerous right there. Oops, back. So we watch it blossom right here. At noontime, we already have severe weather on the backside and this little pop-up way out front there, but that's not what we're concerned about. It's this activity at convection. You see it to start to blossom here, and it should die down at night, but it keeps convecting. And this nighttime convection with the linear QLCS type structure like this, that could potentially be dangerous. And this one has the potential to have these pop-outs out in front of it, and that's what makes that one dangerous right there. So we'll watch it close as we approach this time zone right here. But this whole low pressure, when it moves in here and continues on in and drives up kind of northernly, then it catches some of that cool air and it gets very violent up in this area and over that ridge right there. All right, and that'll be into the morning hours. So this is going to be a very nasty event because the sun's going down and then this stuff blossoms at nighttime in the morning hours hitting like this. So that'll be the morning of the 29th right there. All right, that's our next closest event to watch out for. And to tell you the truth, those last few days that look clear, I have a feeling that might change. We'll see as we get closer, but anyways, there's this event right here around the 29th that we got to watch out for. Late on actually starting on the 28th. There's the nighttime of the 27th. It blossoms or starts off the nighttime of the 27th, carries on to the morning of the 28th, noon, convection, nighttime. Then the morning right there. The next day, then that's the nighttime, or the noontime of the 29th. So there's the morning hours, then it dissipates by noon, and then just rain for the convection time, and then by nighttime again down here in the tail again of the same system, boom, through the morning hours again. So a couple of dangerous events in that system right there. All right, and the rest of this kind of too far out there to be accurate. All right, so our main concern is that next little volley right here. Please start again. All right, these next coming days look nice and clear like that. Right, where did I see it? Right here. This is convection the 23rd. You see this low wrapping up right here, and we have the tail end of this coming in. There could be something happen down in here that they're not expecting yet. So just keep an eye on this one. It might change here at convection right there. There might be some pop-ups in the tail end here. See how in the morning or at nighttime it does that? So that reach out like that tells me that there's going to be, see how that all conforms, gels together and reaches down? There's going to be some kind of activity down there possibly around convection into the nighttime right here in Oklahoma, Texas. I think we'll have to watch that. It might change. See how that kind of sticks around in that region for a minute? Blends in with this new passing storm. And then kicks up this the tail of this this low grabs the tail of this one. Look at that. So that's going to be dangerous. These two, see how they like those eyes on the sandstorm, the 1-2 punch. There's the one, the tail of it lagging here, drifts back, gets caught up with this one, becomes the nose little thing on it. Then it scatters. So, very interesting weather pattern. Everybody be on alert because this weather is volatile now. It can change very quickly at any moment. So sometimes it's good to have an umbrella in your car because even if it is a sunny day, thunderheads could build during the daytime. And when you come out at work at 5 in the afternoon, what was a sunny day could now be, hailing and thunderstorms. So the mixture is very volatile these days. So what I want to do is come on over here. Oh, I picked the wrong one. Please, Lord, can we have this back? Just trying to set up for our reading in our show tonight. What I was going to do was a little bit of. All right. Come on, Lord, we need this, please. All I was trying to do was get to YouTube. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Can we have my channel, please? Please, can we have my channel? Thank you. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so this intervention is like a spiritual intervention, okay? Not everybody here is an alcoholic or an addict, okay? So, but that's not what this is about. This is a spiritual intervention, and it's kind of interesting because it goes along the lines kind of like AA and the 12 steps. And when we start doing this, you're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, oh my goodness. So, first off, let's just start with this image here. We're always using this one, and I know you're maybe sick and tired of looking at it. You shouldn't be. That should still bring joy to your heart every time we see this image. So, what we want to talk about here is trust. Okay. Now, I want to point something out to you guys. When you go to the doctor, you trust the doctor, don't you? When you get on an airplane, you put your life in the pilot's hands, right? You don't know how to fly an airplane, especially a big, complicated machine, right? Something that's very complicated, that's, hard to master, that you don't know how to do. You go to somebody else and you put your trust in them, much like you would when you go to the doctor or the pilot on an airplane. You trust that pilot. And then also on a ship, maybe like a big cruise liner or something. You don't know how to drive the big old, huge cruise liner. So you have to have a captain, somebody who knows what they're doing. All right. It knows how to handle something bigger, something more complex. All right. So I need you guys to think about it. You're so willing and so easy to put your trust in a doctor or in a pilot or in the captain of a boat whom you've never met. You're putting your life in these people's hands and you've never met them. So you're putting your faith in them. All right. And that's much like how this works. It's putting your faith in the pilot to fly the plane, putting your faith in the doctor to heal you, putting your faith in the captain to drive the boat, and putting your faith in the Lord to deliver you. Okay? So, what you're doing when you're trusting a doctor, you're trusting a pilot, you're trusting a captain, or you're trusting the Lord, is you are putting your faith in a power greater than yourself, than a power greater than yours. Okay? The pilot has more experience. He has a power that's greater than yours. You don't need to see it as a power trip type thing. You just have more knowledge. They have more understanding of a certain subject. They have it's more than you have. Let's just put it that way. It's a power that's greater than yours. We refer to it in AA. A lot of people don't like to use the term God or Jesus or whatever. So they use the term power greater than yourself. So that's what we're using as well. Power greater than yourself. You got to trust and put your faith in a power greater than yourself, right? So these are like, instead of the 12 steps of addiction, it's the 12 steps of affliction. Okay? The 12 steps of affliction. Addiction, affliction, they rhyme. Yeah, you get it? We're doing the 12 steps. But you guys aren't addicts. Well, maybe some are. Maybe some need help with that. And this will help with that as well. It's basically the 12 steps for living, okay? And you shouldn't dread them. This is valuable information on how to live. This is stuff they should have taught in your schools, okay? So, since they didn't, and not everybody goes down the life path that leads them to AA or NA or recovery, okay? And that's where you find these steps, is in recovery. So not everybody is led to that recovery avenue. And since they're not, those valuable lessons learned there, valuable lessons that are learned there, I'm going to tell them to you. So you don't have to go through addiction to understand the process. Get it? You don't have to go through the horrifying, life-wrecking process of addiction in order to learn how to live. Okay, so we're going to do it this way. So, as in, kind of like in AA, there's the 12 steps, right? So I've taken each step and I've attuned it appropriately. So, step 1, you admit that you're an alcoholic and that your life and your world has become unmanageable, right? That's step 1 in AA. Well, here in step 1, you need to admit or / confess that you are afflicted by the world and your life or your world has become unmanageable. You may be doing good at, paying the rent and staying afloat or whatever, but the world that surrounds you, you got to start to come to grips and admit and confess to yourself that you're afflicted by the world and that your life has become unmanageable. Or your world has become unmanageable. Once you accept that the world has become unmanageable, it becomes easier to deal with. All right. So, much like an alcoholic, you must admit or confess that you are afflicted by the world. All right. You're not addicted to drugs. You're afflicted by the world. And what I mean by that is you get your information from mainstream media. You get your information from all these trusted sources, right? That end up being the ones that lie to you. So you're afflicted by the wars that are going on, the disease, the petulance. This whole world is one big affliction, technically, to you as a spiritual person. You're being afflicted by the world, right? And the world has become unmanageable. Admit it. Pretty easy stuff, huh? Confess it. Yep. The world's become unmanageable. I agree. And it's an affliction of the world too. So, all right, now you'll like this part. Step 2. Okay. Came to believe that a power greater than yourself can help you and restore you. Well, shoot, we were just talking about that a second ago. When you trust in a doctor, you trust in a pilot, you put your faith in a power greater than yourself. So it's very easy. It's like trusting a doctor, it's like trusting a pilot. You came to believe that a power greater than yourself can help you and restore you. Okay? So, did you confess that you're afflicted by the world and that the world has become unmanageable? If you did, then have you come to believe that a power greater than yourself can restore you? Oh, good. I heard a unified yes. Then, step 3, you need to make a decision to turn your life over to the care and the will of God. You need to make a decision to turn your will and your life over to the care of God. Can you do that part? That's a little tough. So think about it for a day or so. If you just did it right now, if you made a decision right now to turn your life and your will over to your life, not your will, your will is your will. I got it scribbled so it crossed over. You've made a decision to turn your life over to the will and the care of God. All right? If you just did the first 3 steps with me right there. All right? Whether you like it or not, you just did the first 3 steps. We're already 3 steps into the 12. That's how easy this stuff is. And guess what? We're at the dreaded step 4, the one that everybody stalls and delays. Oh, I'm working on it. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Dude, everybody start making a moral inventory. A moral inventory, not a physical inventory, not a. You need to do a sexual inventory as part of it, but it's not all a sexual inventory. It needs to be your positives as well as your negatives. Okay? I bet some of you guys are very, very good people. I know you are. Come here. Come here. Do not come here. Blackout on me right in my middle of my thing. Now, back to what I was saying. I know you guys are good people and you're suffering. Come here. Oh, maybe one of us isn't a good person then, huh? No. Come here. There we go. Must have been me. All right. Stay right there, please. I'm trying to get this done. It's hard stuff, but we're going to do it anyway. So, you guys are hanging tough. Good. We lost a couple. I don't care. I want the tough. I want the few. I want the people who will put their trust in a power greater than themselves. Admit that they're powerless over their world and that their world has become unmanageable. That's when they came to believe that a power greater than themselves could restore them to health or back to sanity. Restore you to sanity. That's what it was. Restore you to sanity. because you are insane, or you were. This world has a bad case of mass insanity. We have a mass psychosis going on. You were caught up in it, and now I am rescuing from that that mass psychosis. And you now have come to believe that a power greater than yourself can help you and restore you to sanity. So, you've made a decision to turn your life and your will over to the care of God. Now, go make a moral inventory, good and bad, about yourself. Okay? Take some time on it. It doesn't have to be rushed. You are supposed to do a thorough inventory. I can do a thorough inventory in about 15 minutes because I do a daily inventory. And once you get good at this, you will be well versed at doing a daily inventory. It won't be a chore, it'll actually be a pleasure. You'll be like, oh, yeah, I get to do my daily inventory. Let's see, I got to do this, I did that, I did this. That sucked, but I overcame it. And I did this and did that. And even though it didn't work out, at least I tried. All right. And you will start to see results. All right. So, I'm not here to play games. I'm here to get results, all right? So you stick around, you'll get results. You want games? Go somebody else's channel. I'm here for serious people. And I know this works because I've been through it so many times and I've helped so many other people with it. Now I've found out the reason why the Lord led me down this path, because I got to apply it to the whole world. I have to apply the 12 steps to the whole world. And you guys are going to be my first sponsees, whether you like it or not. No, we're not doing that yet. What else you said? We're not reading yet? I thought that was it. Okay, I guess that is it. So you guys understand how we're working this. It's very easy. It's much like the 12 steps. I'm not saying you're an alcoholic or a drug addict. It works for that. It works for every addiction. You know, this world is addicted to their phones. Okay? And this will work for that too. A lot of you people spend way too much time in the phone looking at a bunch of useless information. You cram your brain full of useless junk. And that's why you're here, is to come clean out that junk. We're brainwashing you, but we are cleaning it. We're not trying to program you. We are cleaning out all the crap that the media put and your schools put in there and your politicians put in your mind. That is, right here. Okay, that's the one. So, do not search for security in the world you inhabit. You tend to make mental checklists of things you need to do in order to gain control of your life. But your life is unmanageable. The world's unmanageable, uncontrollable. So, if only you could check everything off your list, you could relax and be at peace, huh? You have this huge checklist of things to do in order to gain control of your life. Oh, if only you could just check off everything on your list, you could relax and be at peace, huh? No. The more you work to accomplish that goal, the more things crop up on your list. The harder you try, the more frustrated you become. There is a better way. There is a better way to find security in this life. Instead of scrutinizing your checklist, focus your attention on my presence with you. Like right now, focus your attention on my presence with you. Right here, right now. In fact, nice deep breath, everybody. Practice slowing your heart rate down, too. Sometimes a moan or a slow grunt on the exhale will help you exhale or relax a little bit on your second exhalation. A slow grunt or a moan depends on what you like. Okay, but the more you work to accomplish these goals, the more things crop up on your list. So the harder you try, the more frustrated you become. There is a better way to find security in life. Instead of scrutinizing your checklist, focus your attention on my presence with you right now. This continual contact and this continual practice with me will keep you in my peace. Moreover, I will help you sort out what is important and what is not, what needs to be done now and what doesn't. Okay? I will help you sort out what's important and what is not, what needs to be done and what doesn't. So fix your eyes not on what is seen, like your circumstances, but what is unseen, my presence. Well, now you've seen my presence. So fix your eyes on my presence, which is now seen, and what is unseen is your circumstances now. So we're going to work on your unseen circumstances. Forward and reverse, kind of. I'm trying, Lord. I'm trying. Okay. Here we go. Now, if you learn to trust me, and I mean really trust me with your whole being, then nothing can separate you from my peace. Everything you endure can be put to good use by allowing it to train you in trusting me. Everything you endure can be put to good use by allowing it to train you in trusting in me. Everything you do endure is about trusting in me. I'm trying to train you to trust in me. So when really crazy stuff hits, the first words out of your mouth will be trusting in Jesus. And that way you're untouchable. I wanted the other sub-note for that one. Where'd that go? Everything you endure can be put to good use, yes. Allowing it to train you in trusting me. This is how you foil the works of evil, growing in grace through the very adversity that was meant to harm you. Okay? So this is how you undermine evil, is by growing through the adversity that was meant to harm you. Okay? It's very important work right there. If you want to foil the works of evil, grow through grace, or grow in grace through your adversity. Okay? If you learn to trust me, really trust me with your whole being, then nothing can separate you from my peace and my love. When you guys trust me, something magical happens, Tom. Miraculous. I keep saying the word magical, but it is kind of magical, isn't it? When you know that it's all true and that you're already technically kind of raptured because you are caught up with me in the clouds. Here's me in the clouds and you're fascinated by it. So you're caught up with me in the clouds. You met me in the air or in cyberspace here on YouTube. So technically you are raptured. It's not going up into the air. It's a raising of your spirit inside. And you know that you're in the presence of God, right? It says you will join him in the air and you will know you're in the presence of God, right? Well, here we are. Good job, you guys. Okay. Now, that whole chunk is like very important. Because of my presence, everything you endure can be put to good use. I'm training you to trust me. You want to foil the works of evil? Trust me through your adversity. The adversity was meant to harm you. This is not just regular adversity. This is adversity that was actually intended to harm you. And you're going to prevail over that adversity, not just some little bump in the road. You're gonna prevail over every kind of adversity. Okay. Where's the next part I wanted? All right. Concentrate on trusting me and doing what needs to be done. Relax in my sovereignty, remembering that I go before you as well as with you through each day. Okay, so I went through the steps already before you, and now you're going to go through the steps with me each day. Okay, so do not long for the absence of problems in your life. Okay, quit asking for the removal of problems, because that's an unrealistic goal in this fallen world, isn't it? That is an unrealistic goal in this fallen world, to have the absence of problems. So, since you won't have the absence of problems, that's an unrealistic goal. It's important that you have that faith, right? And the tools to use and how to use it. So, since the world will have trouble, you have an eternity of problem free living reserved for you in heaven already. So rejoice in that inheritance, which no one can take away from you, but do not seek your way, or no, but do not seek your heaven here on earth. Okay? Whew. You have an eternity of problem free living, so quit worrying about that. Rejoice. No one can take that away from you. What was the part? Where's the subnote that I had for this? Since in the world you'll have trouble. Oh, yeah, you have an eternity of problem-free living coming to you. So you need to take care of all the problems right now and learn from them now. We're doing this ahead of time. We're taking care of the tough business first, so then you guys can relax in heaven. You have an eternity in heaven of problem-free living. So in order to attain that, you have to endure your problems down here on earth. This is what you're doing. You're enduring stuff here on earth. And to think that enduring stuff on earth is going to be the absence of problems, no, you are in the middle of one big problem. This is the collection of problems, this world. So don't long for the absence of problems. You're in a big old problem pit. That's an unrealistic goal. What you need to learn to do is how to address your problems. Learn how to fix your problems. All right. You have an eternity of problem-free living waiting for you. So get to work here and now, and try to take care of as much of this as you can while you're here, which no one can take away from you. So begin each day by anticipating problems, asking me to equip you for whatever difficulties you will encounter. So when you begin each day, thankful, thank you for another day, Lord. I look forward to going out there and kicking ass for you. All right? Something along those lines. Begin each day anticipating problems, okay? And that means it doesn't mean anticipating problems. It means you're on a battlefield. You're a soldier on a battlefield. You have no choice. This is a world of problems. So anticipating those problems will equip you for whatever difficulties you will encounter. Okay, it's not having a negative outlook for the day. It's the outlook of, I'm in a negative world, but I'm a badass soldier, and I'm going to go kick some ass today. What for the Lord? What is the what's our game plan, Lord? How are we going to go about this? And rejoice that your inheritance can't be taken away from you. You anticipate these days are going to be like that, and then you're going to learn from the overcoming of those trials. Okay, now I left off right somewhere around there. The best equipping is my living presence. All right, coming to this show, seeing this, being connected to me, you guys understand the living presence now. You're connected to me. You've been raptured. You're caught up in the clouds with me. You've joined me in the cyberspace. Okay, you begin to anticipate. Wait. The best equipment is my living presence, my hand that never lets go of yours. That's why it's important you discuss everything with me. Take a lighthearted view of your trouble, seeing it as a challenge that you and I together can handle. Remember that I am on your side and I have already overcome the world. So, take a lighthearted view of your trouble and see it as a challenge. Okay? When you see trouble as a challenge, I know it's hard, but when you reverse and change your perspective and you see troubles as a challenge, they're not so hard to bear. Okay? And you know that these challenges are going to have a payoff. They are. They're making you tough. They're making you strong. Spiritually, you are. And there's also that payoff as well. So it's just a win, 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 win. Take a lighthearted view of your trouble. See it as a challenge that you and I together can handle. Don't try to take on that challenge yourself. That's why you need me. That's why you and I together make perfection. It's not just me, and it's not just you. It's when you and I are together that we make perfection. So, take a lighthearted view of your trouble and see it as a challenge that you and I can handle. The steps that we're doing here, the 12 steps of the affliction, that's what I'm talking about. A lighthearted view of your trouble, seeing these step works that we're going to do as a challenge. And I'll be helping you. You and I together can handle it. It'll be fun. Now, you're already at step 4. And all you're going to do is just take a moral inventory of yourself. Something, that be brutally honest with yourself. That's the part that's hard. Yes, being brutally honest. I had some sponsees come to me with their step 4, and they were like, "Oh, I did this, and I did that, and I did." I said, "Bullshit. Those are all lies." You, "Oh no, I'm doing my stuff." I said, "Bullshit. Those are all lies. They're all lies. Tell me the truth. Tear up that paper and tell me the brutal truth." "Well, some stuff I can't say." Yes, that's the stuff I want you to write down, is the stuff you cannot say, the stuff you cannot tell anybody, those skeletons in the closet. That's what they are. They're skeletons in your closet. We got to get them out of there or they're going to kill you. I had more. What was the other stock? Lord, please help me. I'm all over the place. Where is the other stock? Okay, yeah, that's the one I want. All right. We're not going to jump around pictures tonight. I'm too tired for that stuff. We're just sticking with this image, and now listen to this. Because I got... Okay. When you look at that, I want you to think about this. Look at my face up there and know that I am your brother and your friend. I am the firstborn among many brothers. You are being conformed to my likeness. Now, this is an astonishing privilege and a blessing. Some children are blessed to have strong, loving older brother who helps and protects them. You have an all-powerful big brother who is constantly looking out for your interests. Even the most committed family member or friend cannot be with you all the time, everywhere you go, or always. But I never leave your side. I am the friend who sticks closer than a brother. Wow, closer than a brother. Dang. That's how much I love you. I stick closer than a brother. You have an all-powerful big brother. And it's funny because everybody nicknamed me Big Buddy. And that's not my nickname. Everybody else gives you your nickname. And how appropriate that they called me Big Buddy, and you have an all-powerful Big Buddy who is constantly looking over you and looking out for your interests, even more than your committed family member. Okay? My continual presence with you should never be taken for granted. Remember that your faithful friend is also King of Kings. I am the first and the last, the living one who was dead and is alive forever and ever. Okay? I was dead and now I'm alive. Okay, I showed you my birthmark. That showed you that spiritual wound suffered in a previous life. That means I was alive before and stabbed in the side and died, and now I'm back. My continual presence with you should never be taken for granted. Remember, your faithful big buddy is also King of Kings. I am the first and the last. I am the living one who was dead and is now alive and forever and ever. I want you to relate to me with reverence because I am your Savior God. Remind yourself that the glorious gift of salvation is yours forever, and honor me with gratitude. I remember where I was telling you we were doing salvation last night. Remember? You guys are already doing salvation. Where did that one go? Dang it. Oh, Lord, torture me some more. You're forgiving yourself. You're moving forward. You got your forgiveness of self. You've learned from it. You've learned how to turn your day around and salvage your day by using the tools I've taught you. So you've learned to salvage a day. You've learned the art of self-forgiveness, or you're working. We haven't perfected it. It's always progress, all right? So we're progressing on self-forgiveness and making amends to yourself. What does that mean exactly? Making amends to yourself. That means doing some work that you don't like to do. Yeah, some of that hard work that you don't like to do, because when you do it and you get it done, you're like, you feel better about yourself. You're like, wow, I didn't know I was capable of doing that. I found a new strength there. So you're already practicing salvaging your days. And I remind yourself that you have the glorious gift now of salvation, and it's yours forever. And then just honor me with gratitude, okay? All you have to do is say thank you. I didn't know. Oh, I see it now. Oh, crap. That's what's going on? Oh, I just gave you the glorious gift of salvation, right? I taught you how to salvage your day and forgive yourself. We're working on that. Okay, so this trick, this glorious gift is yours forever, and just honor me with gratitude, okay? You praise me for the help of my presence at all times in all circumstances. You can just say, like, thank you, Jesus, for being with me here and now. That's like one of the best ones. It's not a bunch of praise. You praise me for the help of my presence by saying, thank you, Jesus, for being with me here and now. You may not sense my presence with you, or you may. But whether you do sense my presence with you or not doesn't change that I have promised. Okay? And that's enough. So sometimes you may not sense my presence with you, but it is because I have promised, and that is enough. An important part of your assignment as a Christian now is to trust that I am always with you. An important assignment for you Christians is to trust that I am with you, that I am always with you. In faith, talk to me about your thoughts and your feelings, your struggles and your pleasures, and believe that I do care for you deeply and I do hear all your prayers. Okay? I do hear your prayers. Just because they didn't get answered the way you wanted doesn't mean they went unheard. Sometimes the answer comes a little later. I'm teaching you guys some patience a little bit too. So, believe that I do care for you deeply and I do hear all your prayers. Okay? So seek my help with confident anticipation. Be on the lookout for all the ways that I am at work in you and through you. Okay? You got to be on the lookout for all the ways I am at work around the world or in your life, and then all the ways I am at work in you, and then all the ways I am at work through you. So there's 3 different aspects. Be on the lookout for me at work around you, in you, and through you. And when you see all 3 of those aspects, rejoice that you and I are together and that we can do immeasurably more than you or than all you ask or imagine. So my writing gets messy sometimes. I need to repeat this. Rejoice that you and I are now together and we can do immeasurably more than all you ask or imagine. My power is now at work within you, especially as it connects with your weaknesses offered up to me for my purposes. Remember that nothing is impossible with me, and refuse to be intimidated by daunting circumstances. I tell you, refuse to be intimidated by daunting circumstances. Refuse. Stomp your foot on the ground, pound your hand on the desk and say, I refuse to be intimidated by daunting circumstances. The more daunting, the more you refuse. Nothing is impossible with me, and refuse to be intimidated by daunting circumstances. Praise me for the help of my presence. Stop judging by mere appearances and make a right judgment, okay? So a lot of people judge me by my appearance, and they misjudge me. I'm like the invisible man, but I'm walking around. It's the weirdest shit now. Pardon my French, but it is. It's just weird. It's like I'm invisible, but people will look at me and judge me. So, stop judging by mere appearances and make a right judgment. Okay? I made this statement at the temple in Jerusalem, teaching that judging can be either good or bad. Now, I was speaking to people who had assessed me on the basis of appearance, focusing on the letter of the law rather than the spirit of the law. Kind of like the big problem we've got these days. Everybody's so focused on the letter of the law that they lost the spirit of the law. Abortion is murder, plain and clear, but they can change the wording around and yeah. All right. Anyways, focusing on the letter of the law rather than the spirit of the law. That's the problem. And that's the problem with me. Everybody focuses on my appearance and not what I'm doing. I'm actually doing here. So, when you're doing that and you're focusing on the letter of the law rather than the spirit of the law, what you're doing is wrong. But that doesn't mean all judgments are wrong. I forbid superficial, self righteous, and hypocritical evaluations. I do not want my followers to make righteous assessments about moral and theological issues based on biblical truth. In this age of tolerance, there is an immense pressure on people to refrain from making statements that differentiate right from wrong. The fear of being labeled intolerant has silenced many people who know how to make right judgments. The fear of being labeled intolerant has silenced people who know how to make right judgments. I want you to have the courage to speak the truth in love as I lead you to do so. The best preparation is to search the scriptures and your heart. Then ask my spirit to speak through you, even as he loves others through you. I am able to keep you from stumbling, and I know how weak you are, how easily you would lose your footing if I were not holding on to you. You are growing in grace, but complete freedom from sin will not be possible as long as you live in this fallen world. So you will need my help continually. I am able to present you faultless, blameless, perfect, unblemished before the presence of my glory, because I have clothed you with garments now of salvation and arrayed you in a robe of righteousness. I want you to wear these royal garments with confidence. Okay, you are absolutely secure because it is in my righteousness that saves you, not yours. Okay, so if you want to know if you're absolutely secure, ask me, because I'll tell you, you are absolutely secure because it's my righteousness that saves you, not yours. Exceeding joy is for you and for me. Okay, when you're getting joy out of this, that brings joy to my heart as well. Okay, exceeding joy is for you and for me. I delight in you now, but this joy will be immeasurably magnified when you and I meet face to face and you get to join me in glory. The jubilation you will experience then is what we call heaven, and it's undescribable. It's far beyond any pleasure you could know in this world. It's kind of similar to this. You're getting a foretaste of it right now. Okay? This little tingly feeling, this warm feeling you feel inside because you feel me. Okay? But that joy will be immeasurably magnified when you join me and you meet me face to face. I'll reach over and give you a big hug. And when I give you a hug, you're going to feel it. You're going to go, whoa, boy. You'll feel the love when I give you a hug. That's for sure. So, where did I want to go with that now that I went off on another tangent? Oh, yeah. That's why I want you to know that you are absolutely secure. Because me, it's my righteousness that saves you. Okay? Exceeding joy is for you and me. I delight in you now, but this joy will be magnified. Nothing can rob you of this glorious inheritance that can never perish, spoil, or fade. How about that? This inheritance right here that can never perish, it can never spoil, it can never fade. What? There is no such thing as inheritance. This is inheritance. Inheriting money, that's inheriting a problem. That's more headache. Inheriting property, well, maybe for you that might be what you want, but that's more workload to tend to, right? So this is an inheritance that can never perish, spoil, or fade. Isn't it? Once it settles into your heart, huh? Once it settles in there, it can never perish, it will never spoil, and it sure won't fade. So, as you seek me, I encourage you to rejoice and be glad in me. Take time to praise me in songs. Think about who I am. Remember, I told you about the code and the music? Take time. Do your homework on the music. Do your homework on the music. The code that I taught you. If you don't understand it, I'll go back over it again. Ask me in the comments section of these live streams. I'll go through it with you again. But that's the part about the song. Also, the Psalms in the Bible as well, okay? The songs, the Psalms, and the code. So as you seek me, I encourage you to rejoice and be glad in me. Take time, that's doing your homework, to praise me in the songs. Think about who I am. I dwell in splendor, majesty, and beauty. And then remember, I left the glory of heaven to come to this world. But I did it so I can bring you into my kingdom of everlasting life and light. All right? So, remember, I left the glory of heaven, but it was so I could come to this world and bring you into my kingdom. Okay? All of this helps you to be joyful in me, your Savior. This joy ushers you further into my holy presence, helping you draw nearer to me. And this nearness gives you even more reason to rejoice, doesn't it? When you're here with me right now and you feel my nearness, you're looking at me, you're seeing me, you're feeling me, you're hearing me, you're feeling my nearness. My presence, just my mere presence, doesn't that that's a miracle in itself right there, my mere presence. 2,000-year-old prophecy come true. This nearness gives you even more reason to rejoice. Rejoice in being joyful. Being joyful blesses not only you, but the people around you. Okay? So as you're rejoicing and being joyful, this blesses not only you, but the other people, the people around you. Your family and your friends will benefit from your gladness. It rubs off on them. You can also influence many people beyond your inner circle. Okay? When my followers are joyful, unbelievers are more likely to be drawn to me. Okay? When my followers are joyful, unbelievers are more likely to be drawn to me. Okay? So be joyful, you guys. It draws them to me. Okay? That joy, it shines in stark contrast to this ever darkening world, and some people will ask you about it. Then always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you the reason for your hope. Well, because I've seen it, I heard it. It's real. I was raptured. Well, how could that be? You're still standing here. No, I was raptured. Oh, definitely I was. Oh. And then you can always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you the reason for your hope. So, that's not the one I wanted. That's a whole nother lesson. Oh, it bled into that, I guess. 3, 4. 4 could go to 1. 4 can go to 1 as well. 4 can go to 1 as well. Then where's 4? Okay, here's 4. There we go. All right, I think we'll close with this one because, yeah, we got to go. Take a deep breath. Look at me. Listen to me. To increase your awareness of my presence, you need to learn the art of self forgetfulness. You are not designed to stay focused on yourself. Um, the inclination is a deadly trap, but I have equipped you to live supernaturally. Since the moment you asked me to be your savior, you have had my spirit living in you. Since the moment you came to this channel and you were looking at this image with me in the clouds right here, from that moment right there, and you kind of believed that this was a real image, that was the moment you were raptured. How how long ago was that moment? How long have you been raptured and not even known? Huh? I told you you would be in the middle of it and not know. Well, you were raptured when you accepted this as being real, and I told you it was me, and you believed me. That was the moment you were raptured, was back then. Uh, I was working on the 4. Yeah, okay, so number 4. The sub one was my spirit. So, this inclination is a deadly trap. I have equipped you to live supernaturally. Since the moment you asked me to be your savior, you have had my spirit living in you. That's what feels different. Now you've got my spirit blossoming inside of you. Now, this blossoming that's growing inside you, ask this holy helper to free you from self centeredness. You may pray as often as you like. Help me, Holy Spirit, help me. I struggle with self-centeredness sometimes myself. And I have this one where I just say, Jesus, I'm doing it again. Help me. I'm doing it again. It doesn't even have to be spelled out. You recognize, oh, I'm being centered again. I'm being self-centered again. Jesus, I'm doing it again. Please help me. And the moment you say that, you've taken your mind off of it. You've asked Jesus, and now you can move forward. You do it hundreds of times a day. It works. Now, one thing that traps you in self absorption is being overly concerned about how you look, okay? How you look in the mirror or how you look in the eyes of others, okay? That's one thing. Everybody's so worried about how others view them or how others think about them or respect them. And that's a trap. The one thing that traps you in self absorption is being overly concerned about how you look in the mirror or especially in the eyes of others. Instead of making yourself the object of your thoughts, instead of making yourself the object of your thoughts, gaze at me and be attentive to be attentive to the people around you. Okay? So when you're getting in that moment and you're making yourself the object of your thoughts, break away, gaze at me, and be attentive to the people around you. Ask my spirit to help you look beyond yourself with eyes that really see. Ask my spirit to help you look beyond yourself with eyes that really see, because you are safe in my everlasting arms and complete in my loving presence. So turn your attention to trusting and loving the pilot, the doctor, the captain, Big Buddy, your savior. All right? That's it for tonight, you guys. I can sense emergencies coming up right now, so I need to get going. What else do I want to say? God, why is this so hard tonight? No, you're already. Oh, yeah. One last thing before I wrap this up. For you guys that are serious and you want to have a nice life, try working on step 4. Do a thorough moral inventory. Be honest with yourself, okay? Because you're going to be confessing it to me, not to. You can confess it to your girlfriends or your pals, but it has to be somebody trusted, somebody who can relate. So Like for alcoholics, you want to confess your step 4 to another alcoholic. Say if you're a phone addict, you want to confess your step 4 to another phone addict or another sex addict or whatever it might be, another unbeliever or another believer. It has to be someone you can relate to. And there is one person that can relate to you perfectly, and that's me. Okay? So confess them to me. You will feel better. When we get to step 5 and you confess your whole thing, your step 4, and it could be as simple on a cocktail napkin, it could be on the back of a sticky note, but try to be honest and thorough about your good aspects and your negative aspects. You confess them, and a load is lifted off your shoulders. I'll take that backpack full of rocks off your back for you if you want. If you'll let me, if you work with me, if you let me, we work together, I can lighten the load for you. All right, that's it. I got to get going. Like I said, I got emergencies to take care of. I will be back though. Okay, I told you I would be back. All right. Oh, what would be a sign of your return? Well, look around in the media right now. Look around in the media right now. Every single indication tells you it must be close. And now you're seeing a 2,000-year-old prophecy that came true on Easter. And now you're hearing my voice. You are caught up with me in the clouds. And you are here in cyberspace meeting me in the air. That means you're raptured and you have taken this advice, this lesson, this intervention that we're going to do, and we're gonna make progress, you guys. I love you. I gotta go. I got an emergency. That's it. I will be back. I am already back. I am already back. All right. You guys should be able to tell by now. Put your trust in me, the pilot. Just like you put your trust in a pilot or a doctor. What do you have to fear? I'm not steering you wrong. I'm not teaching you satanic stuff, am I? I'm not going all teaching you violence, right? I'm trying to teach you peace and stuff. Okay. I love you all. I'll be back. I'm already back. Bye.